this was just also a quick article on the Slovakian Prime Minister who opposed the World Health Organization pandemic treaty, shot in an assassination attempt. That was a while ago.
So this assassination attempt, which occurred as he was leaving a government meeting, comes only a few days after Slovakia announced that it would not support the WHO pending pandemic agreement. That's another interesting one, where you have this world government push in a particular direction, but these people come out heroes at the end of the process. And they galvanize the political world into a particular mindset. And, the health issue was also a very important point in the election. And who was right and who was wrong and who pushed it to the point of coercion, etc. That's all part of the debate at the moment. One world government against your nationalistic orientation. It's another divide that's taking place in the world.
And that also brings religion always in it. Because you always have the one world type of view will be the more secularistic view, and the other one is the Christian view. If you want to get rid of the globalists and all of that, it's always the Christian side.
Yeah,
that's
putting personal
pushed.
freedom and autonomy against what a greater body wants.
In this particular case, they mentioned Soros as the one who is the billionaire globalist who is funding the left ideology. And then you have Elon Musk, who is also a billionaire and is talking on the other side of the divide. And, people are so riled up that they actually begin to hate certain people like Soros, for example. And the question is, then why are they allowed to operate with so much freedom? Why are they allowed to give their funds to projects like flooding the borders, for example? Why is this all permitted? It should be able to be controlled quite simply, right? But it's never controlled. And it's always those people out there that are causing the problem. It's like front organizations. Who are the real puppet masters behind the scenes?
Real hard to follow the blame.
I appreciate how you mentioned that division that is polarizing people. And that was the thing that worried me most about what was happening during the pandemic. It wasn't whether you get a vaccine or not. To me, it was like, I was so concerned about how are God's people treating each other during that time? Are we extending grace and mercy? Is our character going to be worse by the time this is over, or is it going to be better?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that was a big issue.
You saw the way people kind of divided during that whole situation. And I mean, it was like, we're going to fight over this? Like, in a way that it really drew lines in some churches and things.
But I think it will also, the same will happen with this election. A lot of people, if you're not an observer and you're going to be sucked into one of the two sides, you're going to it's going to get messy.
And people they won't like you if you don't make a choice for one or
for
the
sure.
other.
If you're
in the crosshairs.
Exactly. So this is just some videos on what happened after the assassination attempt. And what were some of the comments that was made?
Fight! 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 We got time. Come on. Hey, we are in the fight for the soul of our nation. We are in a fight for our kids and our grandkids, a fight that we can never imagine. I believe wholeheartedly Donald Trump and Butler County's J.D. Vance are the last chance to save our country politically. I'm afraid if we lose this one, it's going to take a civil war to save the country, and it will be saved. It's the greatest experiment in the history of mankind. And if we come down to a civil war, I'm glad we got people like Schmitty and the Bikers for Trump on our side.
If you don't vote, we're not going to win the election. If you do vote, we're going to win in a landslide, too big to rig. We're going to win in a landslide. But Christians, you'll go to church every Sunday, and Pastor Paula White and all of the people, I understand, they're doing lockboxes in churches where people don't even have to go to vote. They can now vote in church. And if you do that, we're going to win by numbers that nobody's ever seen before. You have tremendous power, but you just don't know that. But you have to use that power. Christians are a group that's known not to vote very much. You have to go out, at least this election. Just get us into that beautiful White House. Vote for your congressmen and women. Vote for your senators. We will change this country for the better. This country will be great again like never before.
So Mark Zuckerberg called me. First of all, he called me a few times. He called me after the event, and he said that was really amazing. It was very brave. And, and he actually announced he's not going to support a Democrat because he can't, because he respected me for what I did that day. I think what I did maybe was to me, it was a normal response. But I was called by Mark Zuckerberg yesterday, the day before, on this same subject. And he actually apologized. He said they made a mistake, et cetera, and they're correcting the mistake. Google, nobody called from Google.
Nice pause. I mean, what he's doing there, just putting the ballot boxes in the churches is too close to blending church and state right off the bat.
Yes.
There are so many things going on here that you are seeing the writing on the wall.
Yeah. Now, a few years ago, if you said that there would be Christian legislation passed in this country, you were regarded as on the border of insanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can never happen in this country.
Mm-hmm. Tin hat.
Conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy. And it's the greatest conspiracy story in the Bible.
Mm.
But it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Whether contrived or not is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is Bible prophecy will be fulfilled because God cannot be wrong.
That's right.
Because history has proved that prophecy gets fulfilled whether we like it or not. You can go and build a statue of solid gold from head to toe to say Babylon will never fall, but it will fall.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And every time that you have examples in the Bible of this sort of world dominance, right?
Yes.
There's worship attached to that.
Always.
You need to worship. And every time that worship is forced, God has to step in. There's a lot of people on the internet that I think that this particular message and seeing that where it's going to play out in this worship arena, there's a lot of people that are linking the mark of the beast to some sort of, chip you're going to take and this and that. And it's all just kind of taking your focus off of what's going on. Something that's happening over there in the Middle East. It's kind of like not focusing necessarily on, this is these ideologies that are warring against each other, like Daniel 11. I truly do believe King of the North, King of the South, two mindsets that are fighting against each other. And the religious world will dominate because that's what the Bible says. And then it will force that worship.